Well, I'll say that I disagree. I disagree, so I disagree with that. Unfortunately, I disagree. That's not my wallet. They are bad. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I think it's a borderline ridiculous statement. I'm Jordan Schlansky, and apparently I have opinions. I think everyone does. I've asked you for your opinion so I can determine whether I agree or disagree. This is what I'm here to do, so let's proceed. The first opinion I've received is from H. Lebo, Rob, 1933. I don't know the significance of 1933. He looks, from his avatar, too young to have been born that year, although I can tell you that 1933 is 1 year after the introduction of George Washington's face on the United States quarter. This person writes, in my opinion, Bologna is the best place to visit in Italy. I disagree. I think Bologna is amazing. Some of the greatest food in Italy comes out of Bologna. Things like mortadella and prosciutto di Parma is from nearby in the same region, and Parmigiano Reggiano is also from nearby. However, my preference is the countryside of Italy. I would disqualify any city in Italy from being the best place to visit because I like being out in nature. I like wide open spaces. I like calm and serenity. One of the things we don't have living in the big cities like New York and Los Angeles, two cities which I've lived, is peace and quiet. And that is why I value the countryside of Italy, particularly the landlocked countrysides of Tuscany, Emilia-Romagna, which is the region that Bologna is in, also Umbria. Moving on, the prequels for Star Wars aren't that bad. Unfortunately, I disagree. That's not my wallet. They are bad. To me, they're not even Star Wars. I've spoken about this before, but they have Star Wars characters. Apparently, everyone has to be related to somebody for Star Wars to feel justified in presenting a storyline. Nevertheless, they have Star Wars characters, but it's not done in the style of the original Star Wars films. They don't feel like Star Wars films, short of John Williams' score, which in some sense does connect all those films. I feel like the initial three films have a look and feel all their own. Bobby Lessig says, I believe you look better with a beard. Bobby's referring to me. I agree. I believe I look better with a beard, too. I think a lot of men look better with beards, and it has to do with the fact that, evolutionarily speaking, the beard is what's called a secondary sexual characteristic. Evolution provided the beard for a number of reasons. Many people are aware of the fact that it keeps the face warm, but there's more to it than that. There's the fact that it gives the appearance of a larger jaw, which for a male asserts an image of dominance. Dominance for a male was usually the key to survival. When I have a beard, I may appear stronger, I may appear more dominant, and I may appear more sexually attractive. However, in my case, I've decided to not have a beard because I value comfort more than my own sexual attractiveness. I'm not particularly concerned with being sexually attractive. I like the comfort of having my bare skin exposed to the elements. I like the feeling of the sun on my face. I like the feeling of a nice cooling breeze. Having a beard interferes with my connection with the environment around me. The less that's between me and the elements, the better. So for that reason, while agreeing with Bobby, choose not to have a beard. Chester Shucks says Starbucks does decent coffee. I disagree. I've tried it, and I don't like it. This opinion is from DanBan444, who says Regis is better than Trebek. I disagree. I wouldn't say I'm particularly a fan of either Regis Philbin or Alex Trebek, but I do like the pensiveness of Alex Trebek, where I feel like Regis relies more on his abundant energy. One thing that used to bother me about Alex Trebek back in the 80s was his physical presentation. I wasn't a fan of him having a mustache, and more importantly, I was never a fan of the double-breasted suit. Now, the double-breasted suit, you don't see it so much anymore, but it has a storied history. But in the 80s, you saw double-breasted suits on two prominent television personalities. There was Alex Trebek, and then there was David Letterman. David Letterman committed the additional crime of wearing a double-breasted suit unbuttoned, which should never be done. Even throughout history, that was something that should never have been done. The double-breasted suit In contrast to clothing that's tailored to slim the male physique, the double-breasted suit served to widen it. I don't understand what the logic was behind wearing it in a modern-day scenario. Nevertheless, Alex Trebek presented a mustache with no beard and a double-breasted suit concurrently, and to me, that was an aesthetic displeasure. So once he switched to single-breasted suits and shaved his mustache, I was able to enjoy his pensive nature without the distraction of his objectionable appearance. Pulpud1, who says that men and woman, which is grammatically incorrect, because there's no consistency here. If we're talking about men, then we would be talking about women. Or we could talk about one man and one woman. This mixes the two in an ineffective way. Nevertheless, I understand the idea is effectively communicated. I'll change it for your benefit. Men and women cannot have platonic relationships. Or a platonic relationship. Either is incorrect. I disagree. I think it's a borderline ridiculous statement. I entertain all opinions. I'm not here to judge the integrity of the opinions, but, well, of course men and women can have platonic relationships. I would hope that a man would have a platonic relationship with his mother, for example. And I think the rest is self-evident. Some things are better left unsaid. Other than I disagree, Pulpud1. This opinion is from Lizzie802. Bacon is overrated. I agree. I never understood the big deal about bacon. This opinion is from Renee Walk, who says, we are living in a simulation. I disagree, but it's a fascinating theory. If we were in a simulation, it wouldn't be our place to know. And in fact, it's a safe position to disagree with this, because if we are in fact in a simulation, the success of that simulation depends on our belief in the simulation itself. So if life were a simulation and I believed in it, I am furthering the cause of life as I know it, and life as everyone around me knows it. The other interesting theory to entertain is that life may be a simulation where you are the only person that is not aware of it, that everyone around you is an actor and in on the secret, whereas you are not. Another fascinating situation, but one, again, that I ultimately don't believe in. So in the end, I disagree with Renee.